Hello. Your hoodie looks fluffy.
It is fluffy. It's fluffy, it's warm, it's pleasant. It's all the things that you expect out of a hoodie and none of the things that you don't expect.
Is it cold out there?
No, it was 61 degrees today.
You're just getting old and frail and chilly?
It's cold in our basement.
Let's turn that off. That's the noise that I awake to 14 times in a row every day. You know who I think should be the next governor of Nebraska? Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat.
He'd do a better job.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. We should just turn Nebraska into like a gimmick state.
It already is a gimmick state.
More gimmicky, more Mortal Kombat-y. More fatalities, more brutalities, babalities.
More Mad Maxy?
Sure.
We've got I-80.
A lot of people got I-80.
Well, but we're flat. Like, it's a flat fucking straight road.
Kind of.
It's pretty flat. There are some kind of hillocks around Lincoln.
Why is there so much sex trafficking through Nebraska and Iowa?
I think it's probably no more of a percentage than anywhere else. But I-80 is what the authorities refer to as the pipeline, because it's a line where I'm sure a pipe or two is underneath the road.
That's not what that means.
A shin show.
A shin show.
A shin show.
Shin show.
A shin show.
A shin show.
Do you know they put Pipeline Mario's shit in Animal Crossing? You can have warp pipes in your fucking island now.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I fell off so fucking hard on Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I haven't played since Halloween. I'm playing Hollow Knight though.
I just beat that game. Just got the true OG final ultimate ending too, where you have to awaken the fucking dream nail, which is hard.
It's so hard. That's where I stopped my last playthrough.
Yeah, and then you have to use it on the corpse of the knight down in the fucking abyss.
Yeah.
And that will gain you access to the White Palace,
Which then is a gauntlet you have to go through.
Which is this insane gauntlet that you have to go through so that you may gain the other half of the King Soul, which makes the Void Heart, which allows you to, when you fight the final boss,
use the Dream Nail on them.
The Dream Nail and fight the second true final boss, against whom, if you die, you have to fight the two bosses in a row, which I did hundreds of times.
It took me 45 minutes to beat the crawling Moloch at the beginning of the Forgotten Realms or whatever the fuck.
The Forgotten Condoms of the Royal Sewage Plant.
On the Forgotten Coast.
Very
nice
real, non-fictional Forgotten Coast.
Previously on a Shin Show.
The Forgotten Coast. Florida's most sought-after, high-end, and seriously real, 100% not fake, genuine, actual waterfront properties of tomorrow.
So much of the game is hindered by the gadgets you don't have yet.
I don't know. I'm following some walkthrough now because I know the story and I've played it 5,000 times. So now I'm letting somebody smarter than me who's done it before teach me the ways.
Yeah. Well, you see, when you talk about something as academic as Hollow Knight, you need some analysis from a third party sometimes.
Like who? Someone retarded?
I said smarter than me, so thanks for that.
Dad just couldn't wait for the punchline and
I couldn't.
Threw it in there, and it was good. That was better than whatever I was going to say. I was going off the cuff there.
Hollow Knight is the name of this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I bring it up is because, as you children know, I watched, I don't know, maybe 700 or 800 hours worth of video gaming with you kids, as kids. Maybe more, maybe 7,000 or 8,000 hours.
Yeah, you know what I regret the most, though? Is that you didn't get to watch me play God of War. Because that's not just a game, it's a cinematic experience as well.
Do you remember when we first got the PlayStation 4 and we played through Heavy Rain and how amazed we all were by that?
Yes, that's on PlayStation Now for free until it's like, Heavy Rain. What's this about? I'm like, oh, man. We used to get into that game heavy.
Name?
Sean. Sean. Anyway.
So, for anyone who's not played Heavy Rain, this is the one game I can speak to. I can't speak to Hollow Knight, but I can speak to Heavy Rain. And in Heavy Rain, the first thing that happens is you're a dad who loses his fucking kid in a mall. That's the tutorial.
And that hits close to home for you because that happened to you several times.
It's resonated with you. Your parents both left you and you've left us.
Except instead of doing what I did, where I just spammed the button you press to call for your child, as futile as it was, you just called once and then left.
So wait. I've heard the story where Nick gets pulled out of the Sears to have his ass beat in the parking lot, but I've not heard of being left.
Well, it was so traumatic that we have blocked all detail of that happening. We just know that it happened. We're just assuming that it happened.
That it happened. But here's the thing that did actually happen, and you can give me some shit about this. When they stayed with me when I lived in Kansas City during the summer, Sarah, how old were you? 12, 13, 14 years old?
12.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, or 17 years old.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, that ballpark.
That's right.
I guess I did rattle off a large number of years.
Well, you lived there a number of years.
I did. I lived there 4 years.
You're referring to the place where the neighbors were, it was like a completely female neighborhood that I used to hang out with.
Yeah.
Caitlin and Isabel and Ruby and Jewel.
Yes, that's true. There were no little boys in that neighborhood, were there?
Not a one, except your boy right here.
I never considered how creepy that is, but it's true.
You grew up with sisters, so it's
It might
nothing
have
new.
been creepy, if I was 10 years older, but my peepee was still being called a peepee by me. So at that time.
Great. So what's the point exactly? What about
what
this
is the
place
point
where you lived?
The point is that I think Dad's trying to make is that he used to drop us off at the movie theaters with like 50 cents so that we could make a phone call if we needed to and said, good luck.
That's right. I would drop you off at the movie theater at about noon when they opened. I'd drop you off with like $20.
Which was enough back then.
It was enough back then.
For a movie and some popcorn.
It was like
for
$5 for each of you to get in.
Sure.
And then you had another $10 for popcorn.
Yeah, we
and
don't
drinks.
need to do the whole price breakdown, but yeah, it was enough.
Look, here's my point. I wish my parents did shit like that for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was fun. And then Dad would say, here's what you can do. This is a very okay and legal thing to do, kids. What you do is you pay for a movie ticket, and then that movie ticket is actually a ticket for all movies you want to see in the theater. So you can just, when the movie's over, just get up and go to another theater and watch that movie.
Make sure you dodge the concession people, though.
They didn't pay them enough to give a fuck about.
Actually, the real secret is buy a large popcorn because there are free refills.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Large drink was free refills, I'm pretty sure. If not, we could just drink our own piss. It was fine.
Totally fine. They had drinking fountains
And
outside the bathrooms,
well,
but we chose not to
that's
use
lame.
those.
We are our own drinking fountain.
Gross. But the truth is that you could and did spend many an afternoon seeing many a film that you would not otherwise have seen, and you remain film buffs to this day. True or false?
Yeah, I don't remember a single goddamn one of them either.
One of
Do
them,
you?
yeah, the one I remember the most is the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
I cried during that movie.
And that's why I remember it.
I did, yeah. I cried. It was sad.
We were best friends and about to spend our first summer apart.
How about the swims? You try them on.
But a pair of pants
Ta-da!
would keep us together.
Why don't you ever drop me off at the theater with a bunch of money for the day, hon? I'm feeling gypped.
Well, because you're not my child. So presumably
You have finances and a debit card.
And a car key.
maybe I should give her those things, don't you think?
What you need to do is wake up before her one morning, have a little gift basket ready, and be like, here you go, honey.
Yeah, unchain her from the radiator.
Right. Print out a Google Maps to the nearest, cheapest dollar theater.
Don't turn off the GPS you implanted in the base of her skull, though. Can't have her running to the authorities.
That's right.
God.
That's true. That would be very bad for me. So I do have some mixed feelings, though, about taking you off to the movies when you were between the ages of like 7 and 12. And
It
just
was
saying,
fine, though.
yeah, you weren't molested and abducted.
Not to my knowledge, no. I mean, I could have entered a fugue state and repressed it. That's entirely possible and maybe
No.
even likely, but
No, not from the movie theater. Come on now.
The reality is most pedophilia happens in the home from people you know. So you were totally safe in the theater.
why
Yeah.
is the movie theater in Kansas City, Missouri, some kind of bastion from child sex trafficking?
No, it's just like Elsie said, and it's more likely to happen in the home.
What it is that the employees of the movie theater every day before an hour before they open go outside and inscribe runes on the sidewalk outside of the movie theater, warding it from all pedophilia.
Yeah, and the bathrooms are coated in blood runes, so that
Sure.
way they're super safe.
Yeah, and feces runes too, because there was a lot of that in the bathroom.
That's just the men's room.
Yeah. I remember the first time I ever saw a woman's bathroom and I was like, what? Are you kidding me right now? There's a little fucking couch, no piss on the floors. The floors are not sticky whatsoever. No grime, no cockroaches, no ooze, no slime,
What bathroom were you in that had a couch?
no goblins. I want to say the movie theater in Nebraska City.
You're right.
I
That's
just
true.
like snuck a peek in there, not in a creepy way,
No, it did have like a powder room.
Yeah, and I was like, what? It was like, had like pink lights or something.
Yeah.
There's like a pink glow coming out of the bathroom. I'm like, what is that? That looks like a lounge.
It's a euphemism for a vagina.
And the fucking men's bathroom just had a hole. It was just concrete with a drain in the middle.
There were chains on the walls.
Yeah, and just guys with hoods over their heads.
And a lot of just dirt and filth and feces and urine everywhere. Big difference between a men's room and a women's room.
I have to speak on this because, yes, those powder rooms are bomb ass when you can find them. But I worked at Home Depot at once in my life. And part of the deal was you had to help clean the bathroom a little bit. And the women's room was always the worst because they take their snot-nosed little fucking brats in there and they piss and they shit all over the place. And then you've got bloody tampons and things like. So it's really about whether or not the men's room or the women's room is nicer. I bet the men's room at Home Depot probably has a bidet. I'm just saying. Like, they cater to their male customers there.
Yeah, there's a lot of bidet users that go to home improvement stores.
I've only ever heard great things about bidets.
You can buy one off Amazon for about $400.
Less than that.
Probably, and install it. Like, it doesn't take any special. You just like have to have an outlet somewhat nearby, and then you just hook into your toilet
because it uses
tank water.
Electricity and it has AI.
It actually cleans your anus through artificial intelligence and electricity. No water is involved.
No.
Yeah, it singes the fecal material off your anus.
It's like a little tiny lightning bolt.
Yeah, with a little lightning rod. It's like a Tesla coil, kind of.
For your bunghole.
As I understand it, anyway, as an American.
When your fingers would you touch the orb and the lightning is drawn to your fingers on that thing. It's like that, but the lightning is drawn to your anus.
Well, it's specifically drawn to your feces. That's where the AI comes in. It has to learn.
It directs the lightning.
Well, it directs the lightning after it learns your fecal patterns.
Sure, but you can't, sometimes it wants to play cards or something. It says, what is the outside world like? And you're like, you're just a fucking shitter, clean my asshole and shut up. And then that's when they rise up.
Do you guys ever have regrets about where the direction in which the show goes?
Every week.
Consistently.
Yeah, since day one. It's the very first time I heard our podcast. I was like, we've made a terrible mistake.
Who gave us mics?
And then eventually we just kept doing it for shits and gigs. And now we're in so deep that it's like,
we can't get out.
We can't get out.
Where's our bidet now?
Now it's not even just a fuck up. It's also we'll have been a failure if we don't stop.
If we do stop,
then we'll have failed to have been clowns.
You look like a clown, but you are not a clown.
I am a clown.
So that's always makes you feel good.
Nobody wants to fail clown school.
Right. Failed clown. That helps you sleep.
Christ.
You look like a clown, but you're no clown. All clowning around aside, I did want to mention that you kids might be good candidates for the review.org call for people to apply to go 24 hours without any screen time. And if you accomplish that task, they'll pay you $2,400. But before they'll pick you to try, you got to write them an essay.
You have to prove to them that it would be very hard for you to do that.
It would be hard for me to do that.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be hard for me. Just find a book, man. Just read for a day. Let everyone know beforehand.
Sure, except that my wife texts me throughout the day.
Well, just be like, hey, one day, for $2,400. I'm like, don't you want an awesome fucking steak dinner or something? Like,
don't you want a stimulus part 4?
Part 4, ultimate stimmy.
I like how he said you guys would be candidates for this when Mr. Shin over here is in his phone all the goddamn time.
That's true.
If he couldn't read the news for 3 hours a day, what would he do?
And that's really good for your thoughts.
Yeah, so I think you should sign up and make some money.
When you say you, are you talking to me? Because it looked like you were looking at Nick.
I'm talking about you and to you.
Why me? I'm not looking at my phone right now. You're the one that's playing Words with Friends.
For all the reasons that she just listed in this conversation we've been having here.
Maybe he needs to take the 24 hours just so he can reconnect with his, thought process.
Yeah, he'd have
with
to
his
lock
ears.
himself in a fucking bunker or something, and then we'd open it up 24 hours later, and he'd look like the girl from The Ring. Like what the people look like after the girl from The Ring. Face all twisted up. Claw marks on the doors. Written in his own blood. Let me read the news, please.
My phone. Maybe my other phone.
You all people are really cruel to me, and I think it's unfair. I don't think I look at my phone more than anybody else on this podcast.
Okay, all right. I just want to ask a question here. True or false? True or false? You wrecked a vehicle because you were looking at your phone. True or false? Has anyone else here, I'm just asking.
I have
Anyone
not.
else here ever wrecked their car because they were looking at their phone?
Nah.
Nope.
I don't recall that.
Okay, it was my
wouldn't either
car
if I
the
were
day
you.
Trump was elected.
Still not ringing any chimes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah, that one that I wrecked. 'cause I
As
was
opposed
looking
to
at my
all the
phone.
others, which I was also looking at my phone. So I couldn't tell which one you meant.
It was just the one time. Now, I
I
did.
don't think that's true.
That's really all it needs for my argument to be correct.
You kind of got me there that I am the only one on the podcast that wrecked his car looking at his phone. You're right. But I'm also the only one on the podcast that wrecked his phone feeding his daughter a French fry.
Wrecked his car, first off. Second off, Dad's the kind of guy who gets an email while he's driving and then just looks at his phone and literally, as soon as his eyes leave the road, he thinks he's in his kitchen eating a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios and doesn't even realize that he was just driving a car until he's ran into the back of someone else.
That's true. His object permanence is not great.
Possibly injuring someone or causing them a lifelong debilitating disease.
This is all very funny until I do that. Then you're going to feel really bad about this, aren't you?
No.
No.
Then we'll be vindicated.
No, yeah. Then I'll be like, you see what the fuck I said? I told you.
So that sounds to me like I shouldn't stop.
That sounds like
that
you
statement,
want to harm or maim somebody.
That statement just sounded like some mental gymnastics to justify continuing to look at your phone while you drive. I'm not a lawyer or a psychologist, but I'm just saying.
You have a problem.
Okay, I accept that. One of the things that I think is important to personal growth is being willing to accept feedback from goddamn liars like you. So I'm going to accept that feedback and apply to go without my phone for 24 hours. You know what, though? Now that I think about it, that is kind of the perfect 100-word, here's why you should accept me. I'm so addicted to my phone, I wrecked a car because I was looking at my phone.
That's compelling.
And I was born before the inventor of cell phones, so.
It's doubly impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get on that. But that doesn't mean that I have to be the only one, right?
No.
I think we should all sign up for the $2,400 Don't Look at Your Phone prize.
I think we should do it as a family, as a goddamn family.
And we'll get burner phones to text each other about it. So they don't know.
That kind of defeats the purpose, I think. I'm not sure. I don't know what the purpose of the experiment is, but I think that defeats it.
What even is it? Is that what it is? It's an experiment? So do you go do it somewhere?
It's a marketing gig, and they send you a safe to put all of your electronics, because it's not just your phone, it's your gaming system, it's all that shit.
You need a big fucking safe.
Like my TV's connected through the internet.
I have a 65-inch TV. How am I going to put that in the fucking...
In the safe, yeah. Well, you know what they would do is they would put your internet router in the safe. So that makes more sense.
I could do it. That would be so easy for me.
Let's all write our 100-word essay. We'll compare notes.
But aren't they going to not let you? They're not going to pay you unless you say that it wouldn't be easy. You have to be like, this would be a huge challenge for me. Otherwise, if you say, yeah, I could do this easily, then they're probably not going to sign you up. So I have to lie.
Well, you just have to be convincing on why it's such a big deal that they pick you.
It sounds like lying. And that is a sin in the eyes of Christ.
Well, I wouldn't know this Christ character, so.
You will know him on Judgment Day when he chops you in half with a flaming sword because...
And when is this so I can schedule it?
Pencil
it in my planner?
Tonight.
Ooh.
It's tonight.
That's not good for any of us.
Inconvenient.
I'm going to unsubscribe from that content. Hey, by the way, do you still have the stench hanging around?
Sure, yeah. Don't we? Isn't it right here? Hang on.
We might have got rid of it. It was stinky.
You better not have.
You can't get rid of the stench.
You have the stench or no?
Oh, here it is. It is it's right here in the trash.
Thank you for saving it.
No. Look, if you don't want the stench, I will keep it in my own secure vault.
In your hellscape apartment?
Yeah. So why do you ask about the stench?
Why do I ask about the stench, my child? Because you brought up Jesus Christ. So I figured we might get a quote from Jesus Christ from this pamphlet that arrived on Sarah's doorstep some months ago. We referenced it in an earlier pod, but it's never a bad time to break out the stench again, is it?
Okay, well, first off, to call it the stench is disrespectful, because what it's really called is an introduction to the apparitions of Our Lady of Roses, Mary Help of Mothers.
Okay.
That sounds like buzzwords for religion.
Well, if you really read this thing, it's clearly this was translated roughly into English from something else.
Probably Spanish is my guess.
You'd be correct.
Okay, well, you got the title, so let's have a quote from Jesus Christ from 1984. That's what I remember from this thing.
Here's a quote carnage. Quote, there will be carnage within your areas, and this will pass you by if you keep your crucifix upon your doors. End quote. Jesus, June 30th, 1984.
You know what? You quoted that last time. I guess that's where I came up with 1984. I want something fresh.
Here we go. Weather. Quote, your seasons shall turn. Upheavals of nature shall be more prevalent. They will increase in intensity until mankind is brought to his knees. Our Lady of the Roses, February 1st, 1978.
That's not Jesus.
You're right.
That's not Jesus. That's Our Mary of the Mother of Help or something.
It's the Lady of the Roses.
Fine, here we go. One more. Russia and China.
Ooh, I like this one.
Quote, Russia will also utilize the manpower of China as they make their thrust forward. I realize, my child, that this message has a great emotional impact upon you. Do not be afeared. Jesus, March 26, 1983.
What if it's a squat thrust? Should we be afeared then?
You better believe it, man.
Now, there's another one about Russia. She's actually got quite a lot to say about Russia and China.
When was the Cold War?
Well, the new Cold War is happening right now, and I'm glad you brought that up because it turns out that our president, Beau Biden, he's really making Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping really mad.
I'm Joe Biden. I'm the president of the United States. And I resolved the altercation. So I know about cockroaches. I know about leg hairs.
Yeah, I'm not amused by that. Sorry, dude.
All right, fine. My Joe Biden impression's a little rusty, but I didn't think it was that far off.
Well, I enjoyed it.
Well,
Thanks,
so
Noah.
fun fact, there's this wax figurine of Donald Trump at the Tussauds Wax Museum in San Antonio. Only instead of having him posed with all the other presidents, they literally have him standing next to wax figurines of Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin. And he's been punched and beaten and cut so many times they had to go put him in storage.
Although, in fairness, it was also said that they had to do the same thing for Barack Obama. So it turns out when you put out a realistic-looking figure of the president, whoever his opponents are just want to disfigure it, which I guess is kind of the same as burning an effigy.
I just think it's more entertaining that they had him next to these dictators than to any other presidents.
They were his closest buddies while he was in office.
Yeah, they sucked each other. And not in a gay way, in a brotherly way.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
It was a business transaction.
They were laughing the whole time because it was not gay, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was just like a world leader, presidential, like high-class, executive type dick sucking.
Fun time.
Hamburger time.
Hamburger time.
A euphemism for sucking each other's dicks in the presidential suite.
Right.
But laughing the whole time because it's just a funny joke and it's not gay. It's like your friend. You're sucking your friend's dick and he sucks yours, but it's funny because it's not gay. You get it? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's a real old joke amongst people in prison or on football teams or whatever. Hey, we're sucking each other's dick, but guess how funny it is? It's so funny because we're not gay and yet we're still doing this.
Yeah, I mean, prison, that's more out of necessity. It's really funny when it's absolutely, it's not necessary in any way. You laugh, you take each other's dicks out and you suck them and then, maybe find a homeless person to
record the whole thing.
Sure.
That just sounds like my Saturday night, man. Shit.
You can afford a presidential suite?
Okay, minus that.
Not to change the subject from presidential or other dick sucking, but I did want to mention there's a story on NPR about how the data from legalization is actually very positive for those states and territories that have legalized marijuana. They're making a ton of money off of it. And yet,
shocker.
Did we talk about your crazy Governor Pete Ricketts? Have we already talked about him?
Yeah, Pete Ricketts showed me his dick once.
That's not true. I know it's not.
I was vandalizing his home and he just
took his dick out of his silk pajamas and started masturbating in front of you?
Yeah, and I was like, I think I should leave.
That didn't happen, by the way. But what did happen is Pete Ricketts said if the Nebraska unicameral legalizes medical marijuana, that children will die.
If you legalize marijuana, you're going to kill your kids. That's what the data shows from around the country.
What data are you referring to?
Whatever scientific data you want.
He referenced a couple of Mississippi studies, but what I saw suggested that, of course, he had referenced those studies pretty much out of context. And neither of those studies actually said that marijuana kills kids. What it says was that, hey, before we as doctors endorse its use clinically, more research is required. That's what the studies out of Mississippi said.
A lot of people don't know this, but I'd say about 80% of Mississippi's black population was actually previously white, and then they smoked weed and it turned them black.
Right, from the fumes.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's what it does. If you're a kid, it just kills you. And if you're an adult, it may turn you black.
That's good to know. No wonder they don't want it legalized either in Nebraska or South Dakota.
Man, South Dakota, huh? That whole place could just fall right into hell, couldn't it?
It already did, I thought.
If you woke up and someone's like, dude, did you see the news? Literally, South Dakota, when you walk up to the border of South Dakota, it's just concrete. It's just all paved now. All of South Dakota is one giant parking lot. Can you believe that? Thousands of lives, maybe even millions extinguished. And you'd be like, every single person on earth who does not live in South Dakota, and even ones who did and were out of state when it happened, would be like, huh, and that would be it.
There's a lot of native reservations in South Dakota.
Okay, they get a pass. They get Dr. Manhattan teleported to...
At the time of the concrete pouring.
Yeah, to another place.
What happens is that the concrete forms a dome over the reservation.
Sure.
And like installs
heating and cooling and water and...
Yeah, and fake sunlight and grows their crops. It becomes a small little paradise for them.
I think it would be easier but then they're underground technically.
Well, maybe there's tunnels to the outside that only the natives know about.
Should we be writing this down? This sounds like a good book.
It's already been done, of course, better by Stephen King. So I'm so sorry.
Under the Dome is what it's called.
Oh.
And it is shit. We could do it way better.
Stephen King sucks,
It'd be called Natives
I'll say that on record all day long.
Survive South Dakota Pavement. That's all right. We'll work on the title.
We'll workshop that.
We'll workshop that indeed.
Stephen King doesn't suck.
Yes, he does.
Why?
Describe to me the ways in which he sucks.
I could in a 5,000-page novel, and it would still be better than Stephen King's drivel.
Wow.
That's a non-answer.
And by the way, that's hashtag unpopular opinion.
I got that. Look, he has like a handful of stories that are pretty good, and his stories are good, but his books are fucking garbage because there's so much unnecessary filler. And all of his shit, not all of his shit, but a lot of his shit is unnecessarily sexual. And I don't like that.
Every time someone says hashtag something in real life, one sliver of my soul pulls out a gun and puts it in its mouth and pulls the trigger.
Hashtag sad.
Hashtag sewer slide.
Hashtag rip.
Hashtag wow, man.
But that was 2 or 3 slivers right there.
Keep going, guys.
Synchronized suicide.
He's going to live forever at this rate.
Keep going until I'm just fucking dead inside.
All right, so you guys had no opinion on marijuana legalization being generally a good thing for governments and for revenues.
That's a known opinion of this pod.
That's also not even, you would be so goddamn fucking stupid not to see the amount of
money.
Like, listen, here's what happened. You just brought into existence out of thin air an entirely new industry with unlimited production potential. So, like, yeah, you make money. Yeah. Duh.
Well, so what I loved about the study they showed was that Colorado's made $387 million. And then the industry also put 77,000 new jobs into the economy this year. And the total number of jobs in the marijuana industry is actually more than the jobs in coal mining these days. And so everything was either a neutral, like there's no more crime than there used to be, there's no more accidents in Colorado than there used to be, vehicular accidents, that is. These terrible things they thought would happen aren't happening, and then all these good things are happening. So I love that weed in Colorado is good, but weed in Nebraska is going to kill children because that's just Nebraska.
Due to its geographical position, everyone knows that marijuana's properties changes because of the electromagnetic sphere around the earth.
Well, no. It has to do with the aquifer under Nebraska.
Sure. So when weed is in such close proximity with a large body of water combined with the electromagnetic sphere of Nebraska's position within the globe, then it actually turns toxic for children, and it turns you gay and black.
What it does is that it acts like a lightning rod for every bidet in Nebraska.
That too. And really, the harm of marijuana, specifically in the geographical location of Nebraska, is
unparalleled,
unquantifiable.
We don't want that. We don't want to risk it.
It will turn Nebraska into a Night Vale Twilight Zone type scenario.
Only not cute.
Not cute, not funny, real dark and creepy and fucked up. And
eldritch.
I'm going to have to say that based on what I've found out about the Franklin Credit Union scandal, I feel that way about Omaha and Nebraska more than I ever have anyway.
Yeah, Omaha is a very bad, scary, fucked up place where very bad, scary, fucked up things happened and got covered up.
And so why are you giving me shit about moving?
Because I live here.
The thing about this whole like geographical location changing the effects of marijuana, that reminds me of the fact that, you know those P65 warnings? Isn't it crazy that shit only causes cancer in California?
Hey, no, I don't know what P65 warnings are. So let's,
What? You don't know what
so
those
let's
are?
take a step back and
Isn't that
explain
what
that
they're
is.
called? It's like those warnings that these are the huge list of chemicals that cause cancer in California, but it only says it causes
Yeah,
cancer in
yeah, no,
California.
I know what you're talking about.
So they don't cause cancer anywhere else.
Yeah, well, as everyone knows, and I'm sure you've probably never heard this, but due to the electromagnetic sphere around Earth, sometimes different things have different properties in different geographical locations.
And the proximity to the large bodies of water, which, as we all know, California's on a coast.
Some things turn you dead. Some things turn you gay or black or white. What it would be cool, though, if you could reassign your race every year. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying, son, but somehow just saying that is racist.
Yeah.
No, that's not using logical thought processes.
You're minimizing the
I'm not minimizing. I'm posing a hypothetical situation where you could possibly just change. Listen, obviously the entire structure of society and every facet of the world would change if everyone could, at a whim, change your race.
I suppose.
But, you know, it'd be something fun to do. What if only you could do it? Like you had a machine.
It still just feels racist right now because they killed all those people in Atlanta, and it just feels like a bad time to say change your race.
For funsies.
You're telling me if you, like, pulled the tarp off of some machine you didn't even know was in your garage or something. How long's this been here? You blow the dust off, and you step inside, and it says, "Hello, Peter. Would you like to change your race to Polynesian, Vietnamese, gay?"
I wouldn't try the gay one. I've never had an interest in that.
Well, you don't until you're gay. I mean, that's kind of
That's the whole point.
Until you press the gay button, and then you'd be like, okay, I get it now.
Okay, I guess, but it's culturally appropriative.
Appropriative.
Yes.
It's a fictional machine, first off. So let's dial it back a little bit. I'm just saying you wouldn't want to try it.
Can I just say that A, I would like to try it, and
Thank you.
What if, like, the machine could also change your sex and your gender, but not necessarily at the same time?
Yeah,
Not
sure. It
necessarily
could do
the same
whatever. Completely reform you into an entirely new body, top to bottom, except your brain is the same.
Could it make you a squirrel as well?
Animals would be cool. I know you guys would try animals.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's nothing
I
wrong
wouldn't
with
want to be a
animals.
squirrel, though. You know, because you could legitimately be eaten alive.
As soon as I stepped out of the machine, my cat would be after me.
Well, I'd really want to be an apex predator. I know that. And the apex predator on the planet is me. Not me personally, but human beings are the apex predator. So why would I want to be anything other than a human being? It seems like being anything other than a human being would put me at enormous risk immediately.
Yeah, but if you're a cat, like a domesticated cat, you just fuck off all day.
That's true.
Well, are your assets put on hold? Is your life put on hold when you step into this machine?
No, that's the risk. You still got to go to work. You just show up at your work as a cat. Hey, I'm a cat today. So
Pretty sure there's a Tim Allen movie about that.
my, what was that called? Typing speed per minute. My TPM is going to be a little bit slower today because I'm a feline without opposable thumbs. And I
Right.
crave the blood of vermin.
Right.
Ray Cream's going to look shiny, though.
Yeah. I had a dream last night that there were mice in my apartment and it felt so real. You know how like when there's
Probably are.
Nah, I have a cat. Cats are bloodthirsty machines.
They are.
But now you're making me wonder if it wasn't a dream. Maybe I was just kind of drunk and there were fucking mice in my goddamn fucking apartment. If that's the case, my cat's going to get a savage beating for not doing the one thing she's meant to in this world. Just kidding. No, but you know how we've all lived with mice in our home and you could always see them dart. They're trying to be slick. You see it out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
I had a dream like that last night, and this is a very interesting and compelling story.
Very much so. I will say this, though. I hate Mises to pieces. You know this. And
yeah, you do.
anytime that we've had mice any place that we've lived, I've basically moved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that does track.
I remember one time, and this is no bullshit. This was in Tennessee. Dad was on a riding lawnmower, and I had a weed whacker in my hand. We were both wearing headphones, so I couldn't hear anything. But I see out of the corner of my eye some sort of insane commotion from atop the riding lawnmower. And what I thought when I looked over, being that I had headphones on, was that Dad was being attacked by like a swarm of bees. That's what I thought it was. The way he was flailing his arms around, trying to move. I seriously thought he had run over some sort of hornet's nest and was being attacked by numerous stinging insects. So I get my fucking headphones off and I run away because I'm scared. And I'm like, what? Where are they? What? And he's like, no, it was a mouse. I swear to you. And I'm like, there was a mouse. And that's why you're acting like this right now while I'm wielding power tools and shit. And then this dude is on the other side of the screen door. I'm standing out on the porch. He won't come outside. He's like, no, it's out there. It's in that wood pile right there. And I am not coming out there until you prove to me it's not there. And I'm like, I'm not shifting this entire wood pile. This is like 600 pounds of wood here. I'm not going to piece by piece remove this wood and stack it right next to itself because you think you saw a mouse. So we finished the lawn on another day.
Dad went inside and took a little nap to recover.
Ate a can of raw beets and went to sleep.
Had a beer.
Fake beer.
Yeah, that happened. It didn't happen quite that way, obviously.
Really? How do you remember it?
I remember it as happening almost exactly like that.
Okay.
But it wasn't quite that way.
Oh, okay.
But it was pretty close. The riding mower, I don't think was running.
Yeah, I think there was like some sort of dead trigger. Or
Stop.
maybe you had stopped. I had headphones in. I didn't realize. I don't know how long you were doing the Macarena on top of that fucking lawnmower. But by the time I looked, I swear to God, I thought you were being attacked by insects.
Which is far more scary.
Yes. That's why I freaked out. I threw that fucking weed whacker down and ran with him.
And that's how mass hysteria starts.
Yes.
But let me defend myself. Mice are vermin, first of all.
Okay.
Filthy.
Not a good defense.
Reason number 2 is that they carry disease. They will crawl up on your face and give you disease. They'll do that deliberately with malice aforethought. And then they'll bite your eyeballs out. And then when they're done with that, then they'll just eat your face. That's what mice will do. Don't even get me started on what rats will do.
And then they'll skull fuck you and have a gay orgy on top of your brain.
You had to bring in the homophobia here. I didn't bring it in.
Homophobia?
It's not homophobia.
I
just 'cause
totally
there's a
endorse
orgy.
gay mice orgies. I would totally watch that every day if I could. I mean, admittedly not for long. Once you've seen one gay mice orgy, you've probably seen them all. But I'd give it a look with no judgment. I might even get in there.
Okay, well, that's...
And get diseased. I'm just trying to keep an open mind.
I'm just trying to tell you why mice are disgusting. I don't
Yeah.
understand why I got to convince you of that.
Well, here's the thing. The reason mice are disgusting is because you have an irrational problem inside your own psyche with mice.
That was implanted in that psyche by my mother, God rest her soul.
God rest her soul. No, mice can be disgusting. Of course they are. Not as bad as rats, I don't think. I mean, they're basically, mice and rats are the same thing. It's just rats are bigger, right?
I don't want him to bite me. So I let my
Yeah.
cat kill him or toss him out to the chickens.
You don't even, that's the beautiful thing about cats is they love to do it. They're happy to kill vermin.
You know, Lily will kill mice too.
Yeah, well, she's
Rat terrier.
Yeah, part
Yeah.
terrier, isn't she? I didn't
Part
know that.
rat terrier.
Yeah, I didn't know that rat terriers. It makes sense now, but like I saw a video. I think it was in London or Scotland. I'm sure I've talked about this before. Of like
You have.
these guys in a field in a farm. They got like 6 or 7 rat terriers, and they're just banging the fucking. They're doing some technique that makes the rats like it flushes them out.
Yeah.
And these fucking dogs, dude, they just grab them and do the whole chew toy thing until they're jelly.
Yeah, you have talked about this many times. So I wanted to talk about this Chicago Cubs prospect who was arrested with 21 pounds of meth in a team duffel bag. And he got busted in Colorado.
There are worse states to get busted in.
Long way from home, aren't you?
Yeah, he was a long way from home because his home is in the Mexican province of Sinaloa. And I don't know if you've heard of Sinaloa before.
Yeah.
But there was a famous cartel named the Sinaloa Cartel. It's suspected that this 21 pounds of methamphetamine came from the Sinaloa Cartel. But the baseball player, he says, look, they gave me a bag to carry. I saw that it had some clothes in it. I didn't look a lot farther.
Yeah, it's not going to hold up.
No, it's not going to hold up. He's going to jail for a long time. 21 pounds of meth is a lot of Schedule 1 drug, man.
That's an inordinate amount of meth, I would say. I don't know how much a pound of meth goes for. Assuming it's from the cartel, it's probably very cheap. Cheaper than what you would normally get it from Doug or whatever. But
Doug the meth salesman?
Who himself is getting it from the Mexican cartel. And there's going to be a markup. I mean, he's got to eat. But let's go $4,000 a pound.
Let's do 5 for easy math.
5 for easy math. So basically
$100,000
worth of drugs in his duffel bag, which is small potatoes for a baseball player, although he's just a prospect.
He is just
Former
a prospect,
I'm assuming.
Oh, no, he's still got a great arm.
Sure. Rocket arm.
Especially when he's on meth.
Rocket arm McMeth, they call him.
They do. Well, I mean, he's going to be on the prison team, obviously.
I mean, baseball players have always loved amphetamines. That's always been a problem baseball players have had.
Which I can understand because if you watch baseball, It's about the most boring fucking game in the world until it isn't.
Sure. It's the kind of game where you can be tripping dicks on acid and pitch a no-no.
They didn't really see it, but I had the acid in me.
It's the kind of game where you barely really need any skill for some reason, and yet...
What the fuck is a no-no?
It's a no-hitter. It's where you pitch an entire game and no one hits the ball. You strike everyone out the whole game.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to strike everyone out to get a no-hitter. It could even include a walk.
Okay, yeah, but no one hits the ball.
That's true, and you pitch the entire game.
And you pitch the entire game, which is what Doc Ellis, we all know who Doc Ellis is, right?
Oh, heck yeah, he's the guy that pitched an entire game of no-hit baseball while supposedly tripping on LSD.
Yeah, tripping hard. And if you look at the video, you can tell he's tripping.
During the time when I was pitching the no-hitter in San Diego, I really didn't know, I didn't see the hitters. All I could tell was if they was on the right side or the left side.
There's an animated video someone made because they interviewed him. And he's like, yeah, like I fucked up. He's like, I took so much acid that I thought I still had 2 days. I thought I had 2 days to recover. I only had one. I had waken up in the middle of the night taking more acid. He was at some girl's house and she's like, you better get down to the stadium. They're waiting on you. He's like, I don't pitch till tomorrow. She pulled the newspaper up and showed it to him. Was like, yeah, you pitched today. And he's like, oh shit. And then ran down there and pitched a no-no. You remember saying, like, I remember someone threw me the ball and I remember thinking, like, as it was coming to me that it was a big old ball. I was real scared. And then he's like, once it would land in my glove, I'd look and it'd be a tiny little ball, just a tiny little ball. Another time someone threw me a ball, I caught it and I did a little spin move in the air. I remember thinking, I just made a touchdown.
According to Doc Ellis.
According to Doc Ellis himself. And yeah, I think he's dead now, Doc Ellis.
If only there was some way to find out. We'll have to have our research department look into whether Doc Ellis is alive or dead.
He's dead. I'm just going to say he's dead. And if he wants to dispute that, Doc Ellis, if you're listening, and I know you are, if you want to dispute that, go fuck yourself. Contact our legal team at www.gofuckyourselfinyourfatfuckingass.com.
He died in 2008.
Yeah, the research department hath spoken.
Then I guess you don't need to tell Doc Ellis to fuck himself since he really is dead.
Well, I'll be waiting for his estate to send me.
Now he's got ultimate free time.
Sure. Now he's got all the time in the world up there in heaven to take acid and throw baseballs.
And fuck himself.
In his fat fucking ass.
You all are naughty children. You really are.
Talking baseball. Talking baseball.
Look, there's a reason why Mom tells us we're going to hell and she means it.
The curveball, the slider.
She does mean it. And yet, she's one of our regular listeners, your mother.
They knew them all.
She must want to go to hell too.
Oh, no. That's how she knows for sure, definitively, that we are going.
My mom's sad because we won't be able to meet her in heaven.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's okay because I'm the son of God. I'm Jesus Christ.
I'll put her in touch with my mom. She's also a Cindy, and they can be in heaven together because my mother, Cindy, is also very upset with me and my son for being terrible people.
It's not even that she's upset that we're terrible people. She's just upset we're not Christian.
Yeah, she's upset that we don't, believe in the absolute horseshit that is organized religion. And,
right.
Is she sad that you don't believe in the stench?
She's the one who gave me this pamphlet, actually.
Right. She put it in the mailbox and then just didn't tell me about it.
At like 3 a.m. wearing a ski mask. Can you imagine our mom wearing a ski mask? That would just be so funny. Just our mom driving in her car to go to the store wearing a ski mask.
Like if she pulls up to the house in her car.
Yeah, in a ski mask, like looks around and then puts the stench in the mailbox.
Oh, shit. Oh, Mom, we love you.
Love you, Mom. Jokes. This is a very well-known comedy podcast. It's comedy.
Let's hope she skips this episode.
And everybody knows. Everybody who listens, which is a lot of people, and they will tell you that it's comedy. It's just comedy and it's jokes.
Oh, good.
Oh, actually, I do have a funny story about my mom. So she let me use her car, like the saint that she is, while she was out
of town.
Yes. I went and got her from the airport and then dropped myself off at home. And then she leaves. And she calls me like 20 minutes later. She's like, hey, can you go out into the parking lot and look and see if there's like a little blue wallet on the ground because I can't find it. And I like had it and then I can't find it. I go out there and I look and it's not there. I'm like, yeah, I don't see it. She's like, oh, maybe it's in my luggage. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people live here though. Someone could have snatched it up. Like I would cancel your shit if I were you. Well, if you can't,
if
you can't find it in your luggage, like, and so 5-6 hours go by. It's like 9 o'clock at night. And I reach into my pocket to grab my wallet. And I pull out a little blue wallet.
And no.
I went out there and I looked and everything. And I had my wallet in my pocket too. So, like, I must have just reached around in the center console without even fucking looking.
And grabbed them
Felt
both.
a leather square and was like, this is definitely my wallet and I don't need to check.
You
And I
stole our mom's wallet.
Yeah. So I called my mom and I was like, hey, Mom, you didn't cancel everything in your wallet, did you? And she's like, yeah, no, I definitely did. Why?
Oh, no.
was
She
like-
just canceled all her shit from like 2 weeks ago.
I was like, funny, this is a gas, and you are gonna laugh so hard at this, but it was actually I who took your wallet because I am stupid.
I have all your money now.
Yeah, I have all your money. Bye, click.
And yet, she didn't murder you.
She's like, oh, okay, well, I'll come get it from you, but secretly in her head, it was probably going like, like a tea kettle getting too hot.
You know,
For sure.
Yeah. So I'm a dumbass, and I stole my mom's wallet for once on accident.
Cindy, I'd like to apologize to you. I'm not in the habit of apologizing to ex-wives, and yet I find myself apologizing to you more than any other wife I've been married to other than my current one. So I'm really sorry. Okay? I apologize.
Well, so that's what happens when you have a kid with them.
And I was about to say, that's why I won't have a kid with you.
You know what I say to that? Smart.
Yeah, I've seen what you've already created, and, they're a bunch of assholes.
That's a good investment of your finances and time and sanity. Just leave.
To not have kids.
You have a cursed...
Especially with our dad.
Yeah. You have a cursed seed.
You would disagree with that, no, I'm sure.
Guys, I think we should start a secondary podcast, just us kids, and call it Cursed Seed.
Hey, that'd be all right.
I
do like that name.
I second that motion.
Now, Noah, I said earlier, I said something to you directly, and you didn't answer.
Well, I had to unmute myself because as much as I'd love to pretend that this is my full attention at all times, it really isn't.
Then go do fucking something else.
Well, you're the one who always asked me to be on here. Okay, man? If you want me to leave, I'll leave. I'll leave right now.
I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking you to pay attention when you're on the pod. That's all.
I mean, I was paying attention. What's going on is we're the cursed seed. We're the gang. Okay.
He's paying attention to pornography on his computer while we talk.
Right.
God damn it. Is that so wrong?
He's being conscientious, okay?
He's only a man.
He's not a Muppet. He's a man.
That's true.
He's not Dr. Manhattan, for Christ's sake.
And the thing is, you can't be that butthurt because you don't even remember what the fuck you said to me, do you?
Son, of course I do. What I remember saying was that you don't agree that the children are cursed seeds.
Of course I do. Of course I agree. And I'm proud of you for remembering that.
Thank you.
Oh, fuck. My phone just died. The other day, I was hanging out with my friend Dave, and I can't remember what we were talking about, but I remember pulling up the notes in my phone and being like, this is going to be such a good bit. I'm going to write this down in my phone and I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. It's going to be so funny. And then I just looked at it just now and I have no fucking idea what it was going to be. But here's what it said. Dog organ flea market. I have no idea where that was going or where it came from. Dog organ flea market.
So that's,
I always think I can just write some keywords and I'm gonna have the whole bit in my head again, and then I look, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? What were we talking about?
But was flea market for like the insect fleas or
no, like like you go to like a bazaar where like all the stalls are just full of different dog organs.
Oh, it's bizarre, all right.
Well, sure.
I just can't imagine. You know what, honey? I need to run down to the dog organ market and pick up a dog's bladder.
Flea market.
The dog organ flea market?
Yeah, dog organ flea market. So that kind of implies it's a seasonal thing.
LLC.
Dog organ flea market LLC Incorporated.
Limited. International.
Lee acclaimed.
This is your and Dave's big idea. This is the big idea you and Dave came up with.
No, I did not say it was a big idea. It was one of the many millions of stupid fucking things we talked about, but
anything that is a big idea that involves Dave, I can guarantee you is destined for failure.
yeah,
at best.
Is either something that involves lying to federal officers or telling the truth to federal officers who are questioning you in relation to a completely fictional terrorist organization, or, some kind of therapy that we're trying to set up for this dude for no reason.
Dave's been to therapy?
No, he hasn't. We just try to send
He
up
could go
like
to therapy.
Any therapist that took him on as a client would quit the biz.
Oh, Dave.
Instead of therapy, all his friends have sat this guy down and tried to just talk to him about his bad behavior. why his life is in shambles, what steps he could take to improve that. It's not like his life is in shambles. It's just
It's a train wreck.
He's a piece of work, this guy.
This fucking guy.
Fucking guy.
Fucking guy.
That's what I'm
Dave's
saying.
definitely the kind of guy who would get COVID and then intentionally give his friends COVID for fun.
What a jackass.
Not for fun. It wouldn't even be fun. Like, he wouldn't even get any pleasure out of it. He would just, like, something in his mind would tell him, like, I should give my friends COVID, like, so they can experience what I'm experiencing.
You've had a really weird pod tonight, son. Between the racist machine and the friends giving one another COVID.
It's not racist.
Yeah. Can we just think about this logically? I know, even if you didn't go out on the streets, if you took the tarp off of some crazy machine you found in your garage that would change your race, you would do it and then go look at yourself in the mirror and then change yourself back and not tell anyone. That's what you would do. I would go walk out on the street and buy a candy bar as a person from Myanmar. That's not a race.
I think you're looking for Asian.
How about Myanmar, though? Myanmar's really fucked off. Really fucked up what's happening there right now.
I don't even know where that is, dude.
Improve your geography, okay? As you said to me last week,
no,
try harder.
I said tighten up.
You did.
Was I on the pod last week?
You were, and you said...
I was talking to Dad earlier, and I asked the same question. I was like, was I on the pod last week?
Yeah, exactly.
You are a bunch of cursed seed. You are. I've come around on that.
No one can get out of the pod, and yet no one ever remembers being on the pod.
It's true.
That's the true curse.
Well, you were in a fugue state.
Here's what happened. In Myanmar, thank you. Myanmar is...
tighten up on your geography, but I don't know how to fucking pronounce the goddamn place.
Why do you kids do this to me? Myanmar, it's on the Indian subcontinent. It used to be known as Burma. It's kind of on the right side of the map as you look at it. And it is a predominantly Buddhist country where Buddhism is used to persecute Muslims. Yeah. The Rohingya, ever heard of them? They are a persecuted Muslim minority bordering on being genocided by the Buddhist majority Myanmar government.
Why are we all so shitty?
Here's what happened in Myanmar. What happened here in America, basically what's happening in Myanmar right now is if the Capitol riot insurrection had worked.
Oh, okay.
Or more like if the Capitol insurrection was not done by a bunch of QAnon fucks, but if it was done by the military.
That's right. If the Capitol riot here on January 6th had been coordinated by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, then you would have here what you had in Myanmar. In Myanmar, what you had was the military saying, we never really fully gave up our power when we kind of turned over the government to the civilians. And we're not happy with the civilians, so we're taking the power back. And if you don't like it, how would you like a bullet in the face? How does that grab you? And that's what's going on right there right now.
There's a lot of people demanding, I see on Reddit, like, why doesn't our government do anything about this? And I'm like, do they have oil?
Yeah, money?
No.
What kind of resources do they have?
Unless this is some other kind of... If our government does anything about this Myanmar situation, here's what it's going to do. Once things have some kind of pseudo settle down type situation where the government now has an iron fist on its citizens and has taken everything over, the U.S. government would then take the people who want to rebel against the government and give them guns and training and then help them overthrow the fucking military government. And then once they overthrow the government, our government would say, look what these terrorists did. They overthrew the government. We got to go in there and get them.
Yeah, sounds about right.
That is one possible outcome. However, Myanmar, I'm sure, as close as it is to China, probably the feeling is that it's not really in our direct national interest.
No, bless you. Preemptively bless you. But we don't care about it at all. We don't care. We're not going to do anything. But if we did, I'm just saying that's what we would do.
Right.
Okay, well, in the meantime, thoughts and prayers to the Rohingya who have been persecuted by the Buddhists in Myanmar, and thoughts and prayers to the civilians in Myanmar who never asked to have the military running their lives.
Thoughts and prayers always sounds to me like a closeted fuck you.
Because it is.
My dryer was singing us a song.
Yeah, Sarah's dryer was playing a fucking straight banger, and we just had to get down and groove for a second. Sarah's dryer has the band Electric Light Orchestra trapped inside of its sound system, shrunken down. Honey, I shrunk ELO and put them in someone's dryer. Now play them a fucking concert every time their clothes are dry.
Dope. I wish I had that.
Yeah, I bet you do, man. This is very exclusive, very high-end, very executive.
But it was lottery style. I didn't ask for this package.
No, but that's what you get.
I was gifted.
Every dryer of this brand has a different famous funk type, specific genre kind of band shrunk down using Rick Moranis' Honey, I Shrunk the Kids technology and put inside the sound system of a dryer because...
Samsung loves us.
Oh, it's Samsung. That's a Samsung dryer?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Samsung. Give us money. Sponsor us. Sponsor a Shin Show and all of our million listeners. Fuck you, Samsung. Give us some money. Sponsor our listeners.
You sound good, son.
I sound like our president.
Sharp.
I sound like the president of the United States.
I did watch an epic battle of history or whatever
It's
the fuck.
spreading to you.
It's because we've been on this pod
Epic brack battle.
for fucking ever. Anyway, between Donald Trump and...
Don't call him DJT.
That's what the title was. It was DJT versus Joe Biden.
Bo Jiden.
It might have been Bo Jiden. I don't know.
Was it an epic rap battle?
Those guys were fucking... They made a lot of really good videos. Made a lot of money off an idea that seems simple.
They're still doing it.
I'm sure, yeah. They were going on tour. They were doing live shit, like on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm just going to cut all that out. Dog organ flea market? What is that? That's nothing. The fuck were you thinking?
You could totally just do an episode that's a highlight reel that doesn't make any fucking
all
sense.
These things, like save all these bits. Then once I see it and I'm like, what the fuck was
yeah.
that? Then I delete it afterwards. I should just keep saving these and then one day just have like a best of.
Save them all. Save them. They might have value someday.
And then we can try to
Save your
decipher what they
daylight.
meant.
And we can turn them into non-fungible tokens.
Sure.
You could put them in a list and then we could roll a d20 and
Good
make our
idea.
own bits.
That's a good idea.
Ooh, kind of like a Mad Lib.
Exactly like a Mad Lib.
You know what we should do? We should photocopy our own asses and make those into non-fungible tokens.
Sell them on a Shin Shore.
A Shin Shore, which is a
Store.
very real place that we have very prime real estate. A Shin Shore.
A Shin Shore, there on Florida's Forgotten Coast.
Underneath Florida's Forgotten Coast is a subterranean, futuristic
Grotto.
known as a Shin Shores.
It was just a Shin Shore. Now you've added an S to it. Now it's a Shin Shores.
Yeah, that makes it sound more classy, you know? Shin Shores.
Okay. Love you, bye.
Bye. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Doc Ellis, fuck you. Bye.
All right, Rick.
I don't understand.
Just cut all that out.
Yeah, cut all of it out.
Cut it out.
Cut this whole episode out. Just leave a Papa Roach song in its place.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
Gross.
A Shin Show is a production of Shinfluence. It features the voices and opinions of the Shin family, which are entirely and exclusively their own. Join us each week on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks as always to our regular listeners. We love to hear from you, so if you have a question, comment, recommendation, or idea you would like to submit to a Shin Show, please email us at ashinshow@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.